Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, it's Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. I'm serious this week. I'm not playing Ryan. Ryan just had a
I hate you right now so much.
We had a heated discussion right before we came in here, so it's a little somber in here. Anyway, Brian, hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm just here.
I cannot believe that we just got into a heated debate about defensive.
No, don't worry about it. They'll see it.
We'll have to say it's going to be on an episode. We'll figure it out. I can't stand it.
Just hold it over. You're brewing over right now. Keep your composure. Anyway, Ryan, how was your week, bro?
Mine was good. I had a good week. I'm feeling pretty good.
Until we had our discussion before we started.
Yeah, I was feeling good. But here's the thing. Teams are reporting for training camp, and I feel football bubbling up. I've had a lot of people give me some feedback on the podcast, and they tell me that they only listen to the beginning portion because their commute is so short. And they're like, it seems like it's the Kenny show because we do basketball, college football, then we do highlights. So if you only listen to the first 10, 15 minutes, you think this is a Kenny show. But don't worry, Kenny's going to sit in the back burner because football season's starting.
I am. Hey, listen, I take a back seat, right, when it comes to this time. I'll take
Even
a
though
back
he's the
seat,
pro. He's
right?
the pro.
I was sitting in the back. No, never mind. I was about to say something. I'm not saying that. I was sitting in the back and let the guys do their thing, right? Anyway, No, I'm not doing that. No, hey, let me get straight to it, man. It's really quiet when it comes to the NBA right now. It's a lot of people trying to talk about who's moving. Where's Kevin Durant going? Where's Kyrie Irving going? Is Russell Westbrook getting traded? Is Donovan Mitchell getting moved? Like, it's all over the place, right? We don't know. It's all up in the air. So I'm not gonna carry on about that because we got more stuff to get to. I am interested in seeing a lot of players that were injured before getting back coming up this season coming up with like Kawhi Leonard, right? Seeing John Wall get back in action, seeing Ben Simmons get back in action, seeing TJ Warren get back in action, right? He was having a great career great year at the Pacers before he got hurt. James Wiseman, big man, coming back. So I'm looking forward to a few guys that were injured before and seeing how they return, how they respond, and how they are a good addition to the team. Getting into college football is a mess. College football is pretty much just like college football might as well just be the XFL at this point right now, right? Like it's all over the place. No pun, Rock. Don't come down and lay the smack down.
Lay the smack down.
You little jabroni. Anyway,
you jabroni.
Yeah, but no.
Hey man, the XFL.
Yeah, I don't. Let me not say the XFL. Let me say the AFL. How about that?
Yeah.
Or whatever FL.
What was the Trump one? Was that the AFL? The Trump one.
Yeah, I forgot what that. That's USFL. That's a USFL.
USFL.
Yeah, so that's what it's more like, right? It's kind of dysfunctional right now. The Big Ten put out that they're looking to add more teams if it makes sense. Like, it's just all over the place. Lane Kiffin had a crazy little statement in saying that the NIL is pretty much now the legal way of cheating. Because so many players are getting so much money, right? So like whoever has the biggest bag, that's where I'm going to go. Surprisingly, not that too many people care, but if you are tracking college football, you guys you probably know about Arch Manning, which is Archie Manning's grandson, Peyton and Eli's nephew, and how did I forget his name? Cooper. Sorry, my bad, Cooper. Cooper's son, right?
The athlete of the family.
Yeah, the athlete of the family for sure. He's no longer the number one quarterback though, which is surprising. They got this kid out, and I just saw him in the 7-on-7 from Cali. That's a baller. He's actually a balling ass volleyball player too. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", but he jumps through the gym. But he's like super athletic. His name is missing off the top of my head, so I apologize. But I'll get that back to you guys. But anyway, I just wanted to show that Arch Manning just dropped off from the top and being number one, even though he's going to Texas, which I think is a good pickup for Steve Sarkisian. But anyway, that's all I have. I have nothing else, barring anything for the guys. On to baseball, hockey, and football.
I've heard some people trying to say that Arch Manning wouldn't even be a top recruit if he wasn't a Manning.
I don't know why they would say that, because if you watch the boy play, the boy is gifted. and his numbers just do not lie, right? I get it. Like, it's one of those things where he probably gets more pub, but how much pub does he get, right? Because when he was a freshman, he was starting at Newman, like, he was balling. Sophomore year, he was balling, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's give him. Oh, that's his Manning. He's a Manning. He's a Manning." And then he started getting the stupid pub, right? But his freshman
Here's
year,
the thing. Here's the thing, Brian.
You know what I mean?
Something's got to be said for having all that publicity and people being like, "Oh, your last name's a Manning. You're going to be great. You're going to be great," and to actually be a good player. Like, that's something goes for that, because like when you put a lot of like, you think LeBron's kids are going to be that good?
Oh yeah. So like they just played. I just watched them actually yesterday. They had they were in the Las Vegas showcase, and the youngest one, Bryce, right? He's going to be taller than Bronny and everything like that. Everybody thinking he's going to be the actual truth. I just think people slight or jade Bronny because they look at LeBron how he was in high school and expect Bronny to be like that. But Bronny is not that type of player. Like, he's an high IQ, do the right thing, right? Playing himself type of player. He's not a me guy, right? And people want him to be like, through the lane, dunk it, yell. He doesn't do that. He chill. He makes the right play. He knocks his shot down. He's chill. He laid back. And a lot of people, it kind of rub a lot of people the wrong way. So they're like, well, if he wasn't LeBron's son, then he wouldn't even be ranked high. So they kind of jaded him on the rankings because they want to see LeBron Jr., right? And he's not doing that. He just chills. So they like put everybody else above him. But I still think he's going to be an excellent player, and he's still going to make it to the league anyway. So,
yeah.
All right, Brian.
All right. Well, we'll just get into baseball. We got the trade deadline coming up. It'll be on August 2nd, I believe. It's the date. It's in about a week, anyways. So, pretty much any team that's in at least the wild card hunt, including the division leaders, they all are going to probably be trying to like add like short like rental pieces that are on the last year of their deal and stuff, so to bolster their lineups. But yeah, what's so funny, Ryan?
I just want to talk about the Red Sox. Can we talk about the Red Sox?
I want to talk before we talk about the Red Sox. I want you to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about the teams that are actually playing well and are in contention.
I just wanted to talk about that embarrassing game they had the other day.
Hey, man, it's not every day
I don't
you get
watch
to set a record in baseball, So,
what was the final score?
28-5.
Dog.
He had an inside the park home run.
Bro,
Was it a grand slam?
yeah, it was inside the park grand slam because the guy.
He lost the ball.
The guy went like this and just stood there. He didn't know where the ball was. It was way over his head, and he just stood there.
And then he stopped. It went over his head, and then he was just like, "I'm not going after it."
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He
the
said,
clip.
"Fuck it."
That's the clip when he was like looking and he could. Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't know the score was 28-5 though.
That's what it ended up in.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a football score.
Yeah. So, anyways, what is that enough?
Running-
You good?
Running
Yeah. Hey, the Orioles are doing better than the Red Sox.
By half a game. You're right.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get back on track here. So you're going to see the Yankees, of course, buying at the trade deadline. I could see them going after a starting pitcher. Stanton hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
I think their lineup's good, even with Stanton out. Really, they need another pitcher. So they've been linked to Luis Castillo from the Reds all year. So he's probably going to be a big pickup for them. Or they'll go after somebody similar that's a top-of-the-line pitcher that's going to be traded by some team that's way out of it. You know what I mean?
Knee picks or somebody from the farm league, stuff like that.
Yeah. The Twins are leading the Central, but the Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago White Sox are all within reach of the division there. So that's going to be a close race. So I could see all three of those teams adding. Cleveland's kind of has a smaller payroll, so I don't know what they'll do exactly. They're more of a small market team now. They don't really make big moves like that, but if they think they're in contention, then they should make a move. Basically, if you're in the wild card hunt, you should be adding, because if you don't, it tells your players like that you don't believe in them. So like,
What if you just believe in their team that they got now?
that's cool, but what team's perfect? What team can't add another piece?
Yeah, but how do you know by adding another player it doesn't ruin the dynamic that you guys got going already? You know what I mean?
I feel like that's not how baseball is.
Exactly. It's baseball, bro. It's not really a team sport.
I don't know.
It is, but it
Obviously,
isn't.
I don't know team sports. I don't know anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get him, guys, get him.
Listen. No, so one guy really, I mean, it's not like they're going to get somebody like Kyrie Irving that's going to ruin the locker room. You know what I mean? Like,
Cut that out. Kyrie ain't ruin no locker room.
But yeah, so in the West, Houston's got it locked up, but the Mariners are still hot, looking for a wild card spot. I don't think that they can make up 10 games to catch Houston for the division, but I don't know if they keep playing like they have been. They maybe.
Houston
We'll
been
see.
cooking though, so it's
I
gonna be
know.
hard though.
Houston's
They have the slump.
it's going to be Houston or the Yankees as the top team. Right now they're Houston's 2 games behind the Yankees.
Yeah.
For the top spot. After that, it's like a huge drop off from the rest of the AL teams. So the NL, you got the Dodgers still leading the way, but surprisingly, the Padres are still there, or no, they're not really there. Never mind. Damn, they fell back. My bad. I was looking at the wrong column here. So, okay, San Diego's like 11.5 games back now.
A little back. They're gone.
Yeah, so they might be battling out for a wild card then. Yeah, Dodgers, cream of the crop. Mets are still cooking. I'm surprised by that still. But the Braves have caught up. They're only 2.5 games back now. So the Braves are going to be trying to go for the division. But either way, both those teams are going to be in. And then in the Central, you got Milwaukee with St. Louis close behind with 3.5 back. Again, all those teams are going to be adding. A big surprise this year is the Giants. They're under 500 now. They were a playoff team last year, so
The algo ain't working.
Yeah. The damn advanced analytics ain't working for them.
Yeah.
They must be on the same management level as the Red Sox or something. I don't know. So
Could be. I would say though that it is stacking up to be a great playoff for baseball, like in total, because there's like a lot of teams that can compete, if that makes sense, right? So
Yeah. And I feel like, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to baseball this year, but I feel like there's a lot of exciting young players now. Like, I feel like we went through a lull in baseball where there just wasn't really those big ticket names, and I feel like we're getting a lot of them coming up through the systems now.
Yeah.
Obviously Ohtani, everybody knows, Fletcher, Guerrero Jr. But another thing to note is like the top 2 picks in the draft this year were sons of former baseball
Matt
players.
Holliday's son.
Yeah, Matt Holliday's son and Andrew Jones' son. They went 1-2 in the draft.
What does Andrew? I don't mean to cut you off. What does Andrew Jones' son play?
I don't actually.
I gotta
know.
look that up. Yeah, I gotta check that.
I think he's an outfielder, but I'm just guessing, really.
Yeah, let me check that out.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to prospects that much. I just happen to know that those 2 were former baseball players' sons. That's all. It's the first time it's ever happened that they went 1-2 in the draft.
Damn, he was second overall. That was crazy.
Yeah, and he's already hurt. He hurt his shoulder, so he might miss the rest of the season. Not a big, huge deal, but yeah, Andrew Jones' son,
Yeah. Out. He's out. He
I think
plays
his name's
outfield
Drew,
too.
right?
Yeah, Drew. Yep. He plays outfield.
But yeah, that's
What
pretty
about
much it,
what
right?
about Mike Trout's back? What do you think about that? You think people is overrated? You heard about that spinal injury that he has, or a spinal condition? Spine condition.
I think knowing him, he's just gonna try to play through it as much as he can. But obviously, you gotta be concerned with any back injury because the back controls everything else. So, a guy that plays the way he does, he plays fast, he plays hard, so gotta be concerned for it. and he's getting older now. So,
Greatest player in baseball right now.
the greatest player in baseball right now.
Yeah. Is he still the top?
Is 30 old for baseball?
No, that's like the prime. I mean, but he's starting to get old. You know what I mean? Like
He's been primed for the longest.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like his prime window has been the longest than most
think-
people.
prime is usually 26 to 32. I think is like the
Yeah.
age range.
But he's been
It's a
prime
little
since he was like 23, 24.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say he's the best baseball player or not.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know because you have to give a lot of props to Ohtani. The fact that man pitches and hits, and he's a tremendous hitter. I mean, he doesn't quite hit for the average that you would want, like Mike Trout does, but he still
He's
hits
pitching.
bombs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he's still like striking out dudes all the time. Like I don't know, there's a lot to be said for a guy that could play both positions. So I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Mike Trout, but I admire what he's doing.
No, for sure.
Why? Who you got for best baseball player? You think it's still him?
No, like I like Juan Soto. I'm a big Bryce Harper guy, to be honest with you. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, Bryce Harper he didn't reach what he's supposed to." But for me, like, I just like the way that he came out from the gate. Everybody says he's gonna be bad. He's gonna be a badass. He's gonna be a badass, and he was, right. I think it rubbed people kind of wrong how he was in Washington. He had that, like, I think 1 or 2 years bad, but for the most part, I feel like he has hit everything that people expected from him. And he had, like one of those players that had a high ceiling and everybody was expecting so much. It's harder to kind of like rise to the occasion than a guy that most people are like, oh yeah, he can be promising, he can be good, but they're not expecting that off the jump. Rather than him, they were like front and back, like, oh yeah. When he was like, I remember when he was like 17 years old, they're like, oh man, he could be number one right now. Like he leave right now high school, he might as well just leave, go to JUCO for a year and then go. And then he did do that, but yeah. So Bryce Harper's my guy. I like Juan Soto too, though.
Good picks. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Juan Soto's a great player. I just wish he was having a better year this year because his average dipped a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely dropped a little bit. He probably should have took that $440 million.
He's still gonna get paid, dude.
Nah,
he's
he's
gonna
still-
get
yeah,
what he
nah.
wants. But the difference is he's gonna go where he wants now.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for declining. Oh, and one other note: David Ortiz got inducted into the Hall of Fame this past weekend. So
Yeah. That's pretty cool too.
yeah, probably the greatest designated hitter of all time so far. So no big deal.
Fair. What we got for football?
Did we talk about Kyler getting signed last year or last week, or did that happen this week? Either way,
Happened this week.
your boy Kyler Murray signed a
Starting off
5-year
hot.
extension worth $230.5 million with $160 million guaranteed. That's all great. Now, an additional caveat, an addendum that was added to his contract, which I think is what Kenny's rubbing his hands about and he wants to talk about, is the fact that the team, which I've never heard of this, so correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, if other players have this kind of addendum in their contracts, but Kyler is required to do 4 hours of independent film study during game weeks. Is that normal?
That's no, hell no, it's not normal. Not for no damn quarterback. Not for no quarterback getting paid all that money. That's not normal. Like if you have the leader of your team and you have to, hey, listen, bro, in your contract we're putting in that you have to watch film, because if you're not watching film, we give us right to cut your contract. Right. This is the funny part about it though, and I could be a little outdated, but back in the day, right, everybody got iPads to go home, right, to watch film, to study the playbook. You had iPads, right? And you can track the activity on the iPad, of course, right? So if they are sitting there saying, "Hey, man, we need you to put 4 hours on time on your own," that means he's going back and throwing the iPad on the couch, and he's really FaZe Clan. Like I know he's signed a deal with FaZe Clan to play a game, but he's really FaZe Clan when he get home. Like he's like, I'm in there. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me why they even gave him that much money if you had to put that in your contract, right? Like, I get it. You don't want to lose a generational talent, and you hoping that, like, hey, if we put that in there, he'll catch up. But that doesn't, and I heard a lot of people talk about it, that doesn't signal to me somebody that wants to win a Super Bowl. Because you're not winning a Super Bowl by just putting 4 hours or 4.5 hours a week into studying for your opponent. That just doesn't happen, bro. That doesn't happen, bro.
I completely agree. I don't think he will ever get over. I mean, I would be the first one to publicly apologize if he ends up somehow winning a Super Bowl. But I don't think he'll ever win a championship. That being said, he is still a good player. Like, just like you said, Kenny, he's a once in a generational type talent. But all the things you've said prior about him being a me guy, it just comes to fruition. It's spewing out into the media.
What's the difference between him and Jamarcus Russell?
This guy doesn't have that big of an appetite.
Yeah. Besides that part, right? Like I'm saying, as
4
far
hours.
as the film time, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have watched the Pivot, right? If you haven't, go watch the Pivot Jamarcus Russell episode. Like, he talked about all that, right? And the lack of watching film, Kyler Murray is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I just don't.
Kyler Murray has the athleticism to overcome.
That is.
Yes.
But at that time, Jamarcus Russell had the biggest arm of all time. People were saying, man could throw 80 yards on his knee. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, he just
biggest waist too.
Not when he first came out.
But he don't know where to throw it. It doesn't matter how far he can throw it if you don't know where to go with it.
But obviously, Kyler don't know either, because if you don't see from them plays, he's scrambling around and throwing the ball up in the air.
Yeah,
he's scrambling around. He's yelling at Larry Fitzgerald, like, bro, what are you doing? Larry Fitzgerald's like, motherfucker, I've been looking at the playbook. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
he needs a teammate like Brady to watch the film for Gronk and just tell him what to do. You ever? I know they joked about that like, I don't watch film. Brady just tells me what to do. But there are plenty of times where I've actually seen a video where like Gronk's got his hand in the dirt and like Brady's audibling and he's like, no, Gronk, stand up. And he like yells at him to stand up in the middle of the play. And then he stands up and then just does the play. But like, that is, you can't do that at quarterback. You have to be in charge of everything.
Who's going to tell you a quarterback to center? No, on three. Like, come on, bro. That's just crazy to me. Like, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse with him. I already said my piece on him. But yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we'll talk about him in a little bit.
I won't.
Hey,
I won't. I'll tell you where he's on my list. Go ahead.
Hey, if this is any indication, the Browns did sign former first-round pick Josh Rosen to their team after working him out.
Sign or just for camp. You need a body for camp.
They signed him on a 1-year deal, but they do need a body for camp. Correct.
Yeah, that's it.
But I don't. Sometimes these teams know indications before.
You need to guarantee, right? If he had guaranteed money, that's different. But if they just sign him, he's just a body, because they do all the time at camp. Just to sign him, just for a body, so they make sure he can get the 13 reps and call it a day. Because they already gave Jacoby Brissett money, right? So.
Oh yeah, but, I mean, they need a backup if Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter. Thoughts and prayers go out to John Michie, who was diagnosed with leukemia. He says he's probably not going to play this year, so that kind of sucks.
John Michie the third?
Yeah. Yes. You did not hear about this, Kenny?
No, I did not.
He was diagnosed with leukemia. What's it? Acute. It's APL. It's like some acute. I'm not gonna say that word.
Yeah.
But it's leukemia. He's not gonna play this year. He's gonna get treatment. But yeah.
The good thing is leukemia is like the most treatable cancer. So like,
hopefully,
most likely he's gonna be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Still prayers up though. Of
course.
Is that the one that James Conner had?
I don't remember what he had. It could be though.
He had cancer when he was coming out, junior year, I think.
I thought that was. I'm not gonna butcher the name. I'm gonna figure it out. It was. I don't think it was. I think it was a different type of leukemia. But let me see.
And then all the teams are showing up to training camp. They should all be at training camp right now. You got a couple people holding out there. I mean, you'll see stuff about the players getting on the pup, getting off the pup. I think like Jalen Ramsey was like on the pup and then he was off the pup. A notable, interesting thing I saw was that Jimmy G. First off, the 49ers have officially come out and said Trey Lance is our guy. This is his team. Jimmy G passes his physical. They're putting out the narrative to like try and buzz up some people to try and trade for him. And they've given him permission to seek a trade.
Bro, nobody is going to trade for him with that contract. Nobody's paying that man $25 million a year. It ain't happening. They're gonna have to cut him.
He's one of the most winning quarterbacks, like percentage-wise, in the last 5 years or so.
I know, but he's a huge injury risk. He's only played one full season.
Yeah.
Just saying. I think he's great when he plays, but you got to be able to play.
If you're a fan of a team, die hard. Just listen to the beat reporters and get hyped up about your team, because you're going to see nothing but positive news coming out, and it's all going to be fluff. It's all going to be crap. It's just going to be stuff you're going to love to hear. Like every week I got to listen to Brian get excited about Mac Jones because his diet is improving, and Bill Belichick's saying how great he's improving this year, and he looks great.
He looks great, dude. I'm telling you. He ain't no doughboy anymore. He's like in shape. So I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Side note is Hodgkin lymphoma. I just wanted to say that before I forgot, and I didn't want us to be like, oh, what some cancer. Yeah, I want us to be correct. I didn't want us to be like some cancer or something like that. Anyway, now I can go back to being
Chris Carson is retiring after 5 seasons due to a neck injury, and I think maybe like a year ago when he got injured, I think I had talked about this. I was like, he's got a neck injury, and that's kind of scary for a running back. And sometimes they don't come back from that. Yeah. Yeah,
you said he was done. And I was like, nah, man, he's going back. He's going because I had him on my team, right? He's coming back, bro. Don't worry about it. He's coming back. But nah. Because I wonder if he has to get like a neck fusion or some type of surgery or something like that.
That's what scared me about Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones left last year with a neck injury. But, I mean, I haven't seen anything about it, so I guess he's fine.
Yeah, but ideally he's not getting hit in the upper shoulders.
Yeah, but he's using, like, you need those neck muscles, like, when you're...
Yeah, and he's not putting his head down or whatever when he's trying to run the ball.
And he doesn't have that big head like Peyton.
He do got a long neck, though.
So, Julio Jones signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because why not? Like, they could use... He's going to be their 4th wide receiver. I mean, he's going to be higher than Russell Gage. No. Right? Russell Gage went there? He's obviously going to be higher.
He's not going to be higher than Russell Gage because he has to be healthy, right?
That's true.
I think Julio's a situational 20-snap type guy.
No. He's going to find – listen, if Brady got him down there and he talked to Brady, Brady's going to put him on that TB12, right? Every person that gets down there, they find a way to be healthy. They get the tree of life. They just be like, oh, my gosh, he looks so good. And then if they drift away from that tree of life for the TB12 plan, then they mess up, right? Look at AB.
What if they line him up more like a tight end but stand up, not like a blocker? But why not? He's a perfect replacement for Gronk,
bro.
Big body.
You're making it seem like Julio Jones runs 4.7. He still runs 4.4. He still can get busy. Like, that's not the only issue with Julio Jones is because of his hamstrings, right? He has all that scar tissue built up from the pulled hamstrings, and people are like, "Hey, can he stay healthy?" But I'm telling you, if TB12, if he goes and get on that plan, he's going to be fine, right? The thing is, he just has to stay healthy, right? I think the Tampa Bay is in big trouble. And I think that's why, Brady, I'll tell you later why he'll be, good. But they're in trouble, man. Like, Chris Godwin, ACL. I don't know how he's going to respond back. Russell Gage is trash, right? I don't care what anybody say. He's trash, right?
That's strong.
Like, that's strong, right? But he's trash. He did nothing. Tell me what he did last year for Atlanta. Nothing.
Russell Gage was a pick when they thought Brady was retiring. And Brady came in and was like, I don't want this guy. Like, can you get me that Julio Jones character?
That was just put a Band-Aid on. They got Russell Gage. Like, what? Russell Gage? Right? Like, no offense, Russell Gage. You in the league. I know you play hard and all that, but guess what? We're not picking you up in fantasy, bro. All right? Julio Jones, like, he's still Julio, right? So people are going to respect. I think he's going to be a sleeper for sure, just to keep on in case he gets, he gets healthy. But
let's say this for Russell Gage. Let's say this for him. He might be the healthiest of all their receivers, though.
No, did you not see him last year? Bro was hurt all year. Bro had all soft tissue all year last year. Because bro, it was multiple times.
On Atlanta last year, so sorry.
Yeah, everybody did, right? Only person that didn't sleep is the person who had Cordero Patterson. Everybody else was slept on, right? That's true. But he had soft tissue injuries last year.
Mike Evans played 16 games last year. Like,
he did?
Yeah.
It always seems like that fool's missing games.
No, he never misses games. He never misses games. He does, but it's not a lot.
Last year was his best year, like health-wise, right? Because before he had like a couple games, not a lot, right? Not like 5-6 games, like a couple years that he had like soft tissue injuries, right? But
he had 1 year in 2019 he played 13 games. 2021 he played 16. 2020 he played 16. 2019 is when he played 13. But before that, 16, 15, 16, 15, 15. Like,
he still had one game. He played the game, but he still had soft tissue injuries. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yes.
He still had questionable hamstring. And he just played through on those, right?
He stays questionable. He's always questionable. Every week he's questionable. In terms of playing, like status. Every week Mike Evans will be questionable, and you're either going to get a 25-point game or you're going to get one catch for 2 yards.
That's 100%.
I've had him on my team too many times.
That's 100%. He's going to make you question if you need to put him in a lineup before you start the week, and then regret it if you don't.
Yep. Every time. That's all I got for football, I think.
Well, let's keep straight into it, man. What we have going for you guys, right, to kind of prep you, to kind of oil the body up, right, the lubricate the joints to get prepared for the football season. We're giving you all fantasy for the next couple of weeks, right? So we're scrapping a great debate for this week. It's not a great debate. We're going straight into the top 5 quarterbacks, right, that you need to have on your team to start fantasy, right? So let me get you guys' take on who you guys think that is.
I mean, to me, this is to say the number. All right, let's preface this by saying this is 6 points per passing touchdown, and obviously you get all the rushing. So rushing quarterbacks are just as valuable in this format. Yeah, but if it was a 4 touchdown, those rushing quarterbacks go up in value because if you get a rushing touchdown, it's 6 points.
Yeah.
So my list is based on quarterbacks I like this year, as well as like previous production. So the number 1 in a tier by himself is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is
a tier by himself. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. You stroking on him right now. A tier by himself?
Because he has the passing abilities and he guarantees you at least 40 yards rushing a game. At least. That's at 4 extra points additional a game.
It won't be this year.
Okay. And he's a goal line threat to rush a touchdown every week. Like, that is sick. 4 extra touchdowns is like the difference between throwing 300 yards and 400 yards passing. So, like, it's an extra 100 yards passing. Like,
I think that point that you're making is not going to be any difference than any of the other quarterbacks that you put on there as far as rushing. Like, I think they cancel each other out as far as rushing touchdowns. I don't think he's going to rush the ball as many times as you think he's going to. Like last year and all that, like, they made an emphasis to get running backs to make sure he's not, because they understand that it's only a matter of time before he hurts himself if he keeps running the ball like that. So I think they're going to pull back that.
I agree with that. I think his rushing numbers will go down.
Yeah, his rushing numbers went up last year. To be honest with you,
we're talking about
but his rushing touchdowns went down. So
We're saying that his rushing yards are going to go lower than it was before because they understand that they're trying to protect him. You give him all that money, you're trying to protect him, right?
What's your over under on rushing yards you think he'll have this year?
What he had last year?
Let's say 400.
What did he have last year?
Over, I say he has over 400.
He has five. What did he have? 5 something last year?
He had 763.
Oh no, there's no way. There's no way he has that. I think he has under 5.
Oh no, that's the most he's ever had. So I agree. He will not have.
What is the over under 4 or 5?
I'd say.
Well, that's what I was asking you guys. 400 over under. I have the over.
He's in that 400 to 500 range, maybe. But if I have to go one of them, I'm going to go under. I don't think he runs the ball that much. I don't think you see him. I think you see him scramble right a couple yards, but I don't think he scrambles like, oh yeah, let me go for extra yards. I don't think you see that this year.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember it's 17 games. To get 400 yards, he needs 23 yards a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what you want. Like, 23 yards, right? Like,
yeah,
I think that's fine.
All right, fine.
Do you agree with that pick? Do you think Josh Allen is number 1, Brian?
I think it's the safe pick. Let's put it that way, because I think that Josh Allen is probably going to be in the top 5 regardless. Come the end of the year, so it's not really it's not like you're going to bust taking him the first. Do I think he'll finish first this year? I do not.
Who do you think is first?
I think we're going to see the return of Lamar Jackson as the number 1 fantasy quarterback this year.
I like that.
I have him as a sleeper pick because he is going a little bit later than your top 3. He's right now he's ranked 4th on ESPN and several other outlets. I could see him being number 1 this year though, because his running backs are going to be back healthy. He got rid of Butterfingers McGee there, that was always dropping the balls when he's dropping dimes to him. And so I just think that Lamar's going to be back, dude.
I like Rashad Bateman. I like them getting other receivers trying to add, right?
Yeah.
I like Mark Andrews, of course, still. Like you said, they're stable back there. I like that pick, man. I like that pick. I didn't choose him as my number 1, but he was my number 2 on my list. I got a homer pick for number 1. It's Justin Herbert. That's number 1 in my pick. That gunslinger mentality is never going to go away. He's going to keep slinging, and it's not because of him, right? It's because of his coach, right? His coach doesn't give a fuck. Like, he doesn't care. He's going to go for it on 4th down, and the fact that he does that, I know that we're going to be in a lot of games that we're down. Because he's going to, we're on our 8-yard line. Hey, go for it. We can do it. Bro, you just gave him a touchdown. Like, you put the defense in that position. So I think he's going to throw the ball a lot more. And I think he's due to, really show the league, what he has. I think people see that he has greatness, but I think, how Burrow had a coming out party last year, I think you see the same thing with Herbert, but a little bit better. I think he's starting to understand that he has to spread the ball around more. Mike Williams is playing good, right? You got still Kenyon Allen. They got a tight end down there that's can actually move around a little bit, not like Jared Cook, right? You still got other additions that we added to the team. You still got the running back that you guys like. I'm not saying his name back there, Eckler, right? So so I think he's going to be number 1. That's my pick.
So I like Herbert, and I have him on my list. I have him at number 3, but that's just, that's where I have him. But for me, I have Patrick Mahomes 2, and then I have.
He's a safe guy. Everything's safe.
I'm not. Do you want me to ask my rankings or my my hopes and dreams, like my bet?
No.
Like,
no. What are you picking? You picking Patrick Mahomes number 2?
Yes. Well, yes. That's what order I would do, but I would not select any of these. I would do similar to what Brian's saying. Draft value, I would take Lamar Jackson because where he's being drafted in most drafts, that if you're talking fantasy, this is different than what I would do. These are my rankings. If you wanted a quarterback early, these are your players.
I'm telling y'all what I'm going to do. I ain't telling y'all, well, the rankings say, fuck the rankings. I'm telling y'all what I'm going to do. Those dudes that's out there giving rankings, they're not smarter than Ryan Garcia. What are you talking about? They don't know more than you. They don't know more than you. So give your rankings what you think.
I also wanted to add about Herbert. You do realize he's the third. I think he was third last year. So for you to say that he's going to have a coming out party, I think he already had it. I think we've seen it. I think he's just going to continue it.
The only thing I'm afraid
party as far as like, my bad, go ahead.
No, go ahead. The only thing I'm afraid with Herbert is that they did put an emphasis to draft like a bigger running back with Spiller. So like I feel like they're missing that like thumper to like, you know, they go for on 4th and inches pretty often, or 4th and 20, 4th and 15. They don't care, but they need a big guy to be able to get those short yardage. And I feel like they may rely a little bit more on the running back position just to give Eckler a little bit less carries in the backfield. He might get a little more less carries, but I don't think it'll impact his fantasy output at all because I think he'll be just as involved in the passing game.
They tried to do that last year, though, right? Like they tried to do that last year with Joshua and what's his name?
Justin Jackson.
No. What's his
Kelly,
name?
Joshua Kelly, and
Roundtree.
Roundtree. They've tried to do it, but
they had like 4 or 5 backs, right? So they're trying to get a guy that they know that's going to be consistent. And you know, Spiller has a good history at Texas A&M being consistent. That's all that is, right? I know what you're saying. I'm talking about the evolution of him as a player, like him evolving. Like last year, he still was Keenan Allen. Where's Keenan Allen? Right? Like I think you're going to start seeing him pass the ball around more, right? Which is going to make him a better player, right? I'm not saying stats wise he's going to throw for 7,000. I'm just saying him as a player, he's going to evolve, which is going to make his numbers like look better, touchdown wise, things like that. Because he had a lot. Go ahead.
You can't get upset with people for going chalk with like Josh Allen. He's been the best quarterback for he's been number 1 QB the last 2 years. Like
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I was saying that I want you said that's not what I would do. I'm like, no, I want to know what Ryan Garcia is going to do. I want to know what you're going to do.
It's so hard to say because it depends on the league format and what you're trying to do. If I was in a 2 QB league, I'm taking Josh Allen pretty early.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be my goal is to take Josh Allen, and then Herbert, Mahomes, Lamar, and Mahomes. I have like neck and neck. Mm-hmm. But I like. In a lot of rankings, I've seen Lamar as low as like QB 8, 9, 10. Like I would buy in that a lot just because I like his competitiveness. All he does is he's like the opposite of Kyler Murray. He just wants to win the game for the team. Like he will do whatever he has to do. He's in a contract year right now. He's negotiating. Yeah, he's showing up to training camp because he's not a me guy. He's there for the team. And when I saw him walking up, he looked like he put on a little bit more like weight, muscle. When I saw a picture of him coming up in training camp, not that I was looking at his pecs or anything, but he looks beefy.
Right.
What do you think? What's your number? What is it? Number 3 or number 4, Brian?
Well, number 2, I had Pat Mahomes. I have him over Josh Allen this year. I think Pat Mahomes, even though he doesn't have Tyreek, I think he's still going to have a hell of a year because Andy Coach is going to get him in the right spots like he always does. So, and the fact that he's willing to run too, you know, it just bolsters his fantasy value.
What about 4 and 5?
Okay, and then so 3 I had Josh Allen. 4, I have Herbert. Okay, I could see him being up there, maybe number 1. But
no, you good.
But then my number 5 is a big surprise.
Jalen Hurts.
And no, I have Tom Brady as number 5. Why
is that a surprise?
What are these fools doing ranking him so low? He will be in the top 5 again this year.
Every year.
Like I said he would last year, and he did. Don't sleep on that old man.
I would say he'd be in the top 5 if AB was still there and Gronk. But the guys that it's not
he'll be
Tom
fine.
Brady that's not going to be top 5. It's the rest of the guys that it's those guys. Those guys over there, they not it. They're not it. He's not getting top 5 with Russell Gage. Okay, he not. He
What
not.
about Julio Jones?
Mike Evans,
Yeah, but Mike Evans got to
Chris
do it by
Godwin.
himself. Chris Godwin's not healthy yet.
Scotty Miller.
Brady will be top 5.
Okay,
He's
he's not. He's
dude,
not gonna be top
did he
5.
almost throw 5,000 yards last year?
He threw
did
over
he?
5,000 yards.
Yeah,
That was my
like-
argument for why he should have had MVP last year, is because his stats were so much better than
with the
Rodgers.
stacked team. That he had Chris Godwin healthy, right? Until he got hurt. He had Mike Evans. He had AB that was performing, right? Gronk. He had Leonard Fournette toting the rock, right? Like,
Okay.
anybody's taking that roster. Anybody's taking that roster and they can throw for 5 stacks. He's not doing that with no Gronk with Kyle Rudolph and Cameron Brate at tight end. He's not doing that with doggone Russell Gage. Okay?
I mean,
I
it's
hear
like
what you're
Gronk
saying.
had like a whole lot of yards. Like,
It
he had,
doesn't
like,
matter.
maybe
He's
500.
the defense has to scheme for him.
He had a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah. That's why they
The
brought in
defense has to
Julio,
scheme for him.
because he's going to take that spot, that red zone threat. Like I said.
Okay.
All right.
Ryan,
So I think I went over my
you went
top
to
5.
5? You went to 5 too? Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Only
Who's my-
person I had a difference is Burrow. That's the only person I put at 5. I think they still gonna throw the ball like a shit ton. That's all. I think they're gonna throw his stuff. I don't know if Jamar Chase is gonna have the same year he had last year, but I know they're gonna still get him the ball. And as long as they got Tyler Boyd and T Higgins out there, it's kind of hard, right? It's kind of hard to say they're not gonna continue to throw the ball a lot. I will actually go ahead.
I just think Burrow doesn't have the gunslinger mentality. So, like, yeah, he's got some good weapons around him, but, like, he plays more of, let's just move the chains and let's win.
How many
That's-
times? Do you know how many times he threw 50? He threw 50 plus last year.
Yeah,
he
but how much
was
of it-
QB 8. Like, he's not like a slouch. Like, dude,
I didn't
there's
say
it's.
he was, but I just
You're saying he can't move up 3 slots, 4 slots? Like, I think I agree with you, Kenny. Another year, little more swagger, confidence in the offense. He can easily outperform players like Stafford, who was number 5 QB last year. He could outperform Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers is going to have no supporting cast with him. He's out there throwing to Alan. He's trying to hype up Alan Lazard on Twitter. Like, that's how bad things are getting right now. Because Christian Watson, their rookie that they drafted, is not playing right now. I think he's injured.
Yeah.
So, Dak Prescott, I mean, he could play better than Dak. I mean, Dak's still good. So,
I'll ask y'all this, right? Since you got round out your top 5, where do y'all have Murray?
Kyler,
Is it? And I'll ask you, is he ranked there because of what you heard about his studying habits?
no,
that
I
doesn't
just
change it for me.
Okay.
Because I think that relates more to team wins versus what we're
Personal
talking about.
stats.
We're talking about fantasy stats. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's going to get his stats because that's him.
He go get his.
Yeah.
But what number do
probably
you
have
at?
him like at 6. I would probably have to force at 6 or 7 in there. Well, probably 7 because I'd have probably Brady. I'd have Brady in there.
Yeah, I have him at 9.
Yeah,
Just be,
it's just the
because-
rushing abilities huge
Yeah,
for
that's-
me.
Yeah, like I think the thing to my thought process, I think that Brady is going to find a way, right? I think that Dak Prescott's going to find a way, right? And then I like Jalen Hurts, right? I really want him to be 10, but 2 is my sleeper. And I don't know if I've just been listening to. I don't know if I've been listening to Cheetah too much, right? Cheetah's got me trying to convince me. I really like Tua though. I've always liked Tua, right? And
I
maybe
mean,
it's
he's
the
got offensive weapons.
at the Alabama meet, but I really think that like the efficiency of the receivers, all them guys are like, yeah, let me catch 10 yards less and I can get busy by myself. And that's what Tua does, right? That's his pick and dunk. That's what he does. And I get go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, what you guys say? What you guys say, Ryan?
I love Tua as a player. I think that he is going to have a good a good year in terms of he's going to win games and he's going to be a good QB for the team. I just don't think it translates to fantasy because he's just not like going to sling it down the field. He's not going to have like 300-yard games with like 3 touchdowns.
I think that's Brian Flores, though. I think that's his philosophy, like of how he's running a team. I'm defensive minded. I'm going to make sure we control the ball. I hope you're
right, Kenny.
I don't think Mike Jones. I don't think he's like that. I think he really wants to sling the ball. I feel like he's like, man, we could do it. We did it with Jimmy G. We can do it with Tua.
I have a board bet between you two. Mac Jones or Tua, better season right now.
Tua.
Fantasy.
Fuck Tua. Tua.
Wait. Hold on.
100% Tua.
Fantasy.
Tua. 100%. Tua. 100%.
100% fantasy.
100% Tua.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
100. No, it's not. 100% Tua.
Yeah, it is.
All right, fine. You want to give Brian points? You want to give Brian points?
Points like how many points he cushioned?
Like you want to give him? You want to spot him?
50.
What's a good amount of points? 50 points?
Tua's gonna beat him by 50 points.
50?
Yeah, he'll beat him by 50. Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
What you want? 25? That feels better. All right.
Yeah, less than I'm taking advantage of you at that point.
Listen, man, he's not gonna. Okay. All right.
So Mac Jones minus 25 points. I'll take it.
Yeah, Mac Jones plus 25.
Plus 25.
Let's see. Last year, Tua, I don't know how many games he played because Brian Flores was like getting him out, putting him in.
He doesn't have to deal with that no more.
He had 190, and Mac Jones played every single game. He had 238.
190 to 238. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
It's a Rizap. It's over, bro. I'm taking that. I'm taking that bet.
All right, I like it.
Plus 25, Mac Jones. Taking that bet.
Plus one. Tua only played 12 games last year.
Only 12, 190.
He had a career record of 13-8. That's pretty good for
somebody that's a bum.
Yeah, I'm a Tua fan, so don't get me wrong.
I'm just saying that's it.
I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit here and be like Mike Tannenbaum and say my dark horse MVP pick is going to be Mac Jones. I'm not toting that horse that big. But Tua, I don't think it's going to be very good.
All right, before we, I can't trust any of these.
Oh, by the way, and I have
before we go
11th.
Okay,
just so you know.
All right,
I have another.
Before we
ahead of him.
Well, here's what I want to hear. Oh. I was about to set you up to explain who you wanted to say, but you ruined it.
I can't help it.
This is why you can't. Yeah, you're a waste.
Yeah, eating them doves.
Listen,
I'm eating them doves.
I can't even do it. It's just.
I wanted to ask this fantasy stuff. Like you have your drafts coming up. Who are you like quarterbacks are you targeting? Because with fantasy, I gave my top 5 list, but technically, I'm not drafting a quarterback in the second round, in the third round, in the fourth, in the fifth, sixth. So a lot of these guys I mentioned are going to be gone. Who are some some mid-round, late-round quarterbacks that you're targeting? You're like, I think this player is being undervalued. We already mentioned Lamar. Lamar's being drafted pretty late, like 5th or 6th, 7th round. Like you could probably get him in the 8th.
Tua, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr. Tua, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr.
I like that.
I think Jalen Hurts is overhyped.
I really don't like Jalen Hurts, but you know what? He was a top 10 quarterback last year, and he has the rushing abilities. So he's going to be one of those players that I'm not going to have on my team. And if he does well, I would not be surprised if he does well, just because his rushing ability.
Sneaky pick, Trey Lance.
I can't say that until I see it.
No. Listen, for Kyle Shanahan to say that this is his team, he knows something we don't know.
I don't think it's Kyle Shanahan that wanted him. I think it was John Lynch that wanted him.
I don't know about that.
What about Derek Carr?
No, for sure. I like Derek Carr. I think he has the most weapons, probably than anybody in the league. Maybe the Bengals got him. But other than that, I think he has the most weapons in the league.
I mean, yeah, his top 3 weapons definitely better than most everybody else's.
Yeah.
I think he sneaks in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And he's getting drafted outside of it. So,
who's a real dark horse, late round flyer that I think has potential good upside is Trevor Lawrence. I think second year, yeah, he's got to deal with having a new coach, but Doug Peterson is no slouch. Like, I mean, he likes to let his quarterbacks throw the ball with Wentz. Wentz had an MVP season with him.
Who's he throwing
Frank Wright was Chris Kirk, baby.
Okay. So who is he throwing it to?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I like Trevor Lawrence and all, and I think he's going to make big improvement. But if he's going to be fantasy relevant, he's got to be, top 12, right? I mean, we're talking, there's a 12-team league if you only got one quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, he
It's
needs to be in the top 12.
I think it's potential.
Think so?
Yeah.
My big sleeper, obviously, is Jameis Winston, man. I think he's getting drafted in like the 20s. Get out of here. He is a borderline top 10 quarterback this year. Look at what he was doing last year with no Michael Thomas before he got hurt. He was lighting it up. It was a small sample size, but he was like one of the top quarterbacks at the time.
I mean, his stats are a little skewed only because he had one game played against the Packers, I think, week 1, and he had 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns. So, like, don't get me wrong. I agree. I like Jameis Winston, and for where you're drafting him, it's worth it to take a flyer on him because he's shown that he could throw 35 touchdowns in a season and get you them fancy points. I think the revenge narrative for Russell Wilson is really nice, especially with his weapons. Like Denver has like some of the best weapons in the league. Like I know they lost Noah Fant at tight end, but they're no slouch at receiver. So Cortland Sutton and Judy are some good players.
As long as they are healthy, I agree to that statement.
Yeah.
As long as they're healthy, I agree to that statement for sure.
Well, Tim Patrick's pretty good too.
Yeah,
he usually fills in pretty well. He's like that guy that just always ends up doing well.
Is that all you guys got? I got one thing, and then we can close it out.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a early BK bets total team wins. I'm going to tell you guys right now, get it wide sweet. Get the Dolphins at 9 wins. Get the over on that. It's plus 105 right now. That's fucking cookies. Cookies. Get that. Pick that up there. Pick that up.
How's that cookies?
Over 9 wins.
Yeah. Like I said,
you know that the AFC East has like one of the toughest schedules this year.
Okay.
I'm just letting
Hold
you know.
on, I'm looking at the. I know we're gonna end up doing a schedule episode, but or a record prediction episode. I think we did that last year, but
that's cookies. Ravens over 9.5. Ravens cookies at minus. Well, you're not gonna get too much money for your bang, but it's 150. The Bengals over 10 wins plus 105. Cookies. The 49ers over 10 wins. Take the under on that minus 120. The Packers 11 wins. Come on. Under. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not winning 11 games, bro.
Their defense is pretty good, though.
Yeah, but
they got a run game. Rodgers is good enough to make some bad wide receivers look all right.
I think 10-6.
Maybe.
I mean, there were weeks where Devontae wasn't there, and those receivers were not. He wasn't making anyone look good. So, or when Adams wasn't in. How many games did they win last year?
Chelsea. 13.
They won. 14. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have, man. As always, we hope you guys appreciated that. Make sure you get those QB picks set and straight. Make sure you guys are not overdrafting, taking Patrick Mahomes first round, doing stuff like that, right? Make sure you guys are drafting in the proper places, and we'll probably touch on that as we get closer to time. As always, subscribe, like, leave comments. Let us know what more you want to see. What you got, Ryan?
Last, so that Packers fans don't try and burn my house down. I do have Rodgers in the top 10. All right. I know we didn't really mention it, but he's still in my top 10. I just don't want like hunting me and cutting my head off. All right.
Yeah, and then on that note, we'll holler at you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.